Okay, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for clicking the little bell. Welcome to another episode of What's Going On? What's going on? Okay, now, yesterday was a great day. We've been doing a lot of Amber Heard. We have been doing a lot of Amber Heard. I will admit that. But like I've said before, I'm not going to stop talking about Amber Heard until the grave is sealed. Metaphorically. But today, we do have a story about her. We have the story about the baby, Una. Apparently her name's not Unaga, like I said yesterday. But look at this. Look at this first, because I really don't want to get into Amber Heard. There's so much going on. So let's get into this. From Newsweek. Opinion. Johnny Depp's victory is a crack in the moral armor of liberal feminism. Now, we're going to give it a chance. We're going to give it a chance. If it's bad, we'll roast the shit out of it. If it's decent, then hey, we gave it a chance. But, based on the headline, and of course, opinion, we all know how that goes, opinion. But this is from Angie Speaks, co-host of the Low Society podcast. The actor Johnny Depp has won his defamation case against former wife Amber Heard. The suit was provoked by an article in the Washington Post penned by Heard in 2018 that cast her as the face of domestic violence. The jury awarded Depp $15 million in damages after finding that Heard's statements about their marriage were false and that she acted with actual malice. It was a stunning... Why is that? Why is it a stunning verdict? Because if it would have been a woman winning, would that not have been stunning? I think it was a stunning verdict because we saw what happened. Yeah, I guess the only reason they want to say, oh, it was a stunning verdict is because the woman lost. Is that really it? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Was it really stunning? Because like I said the other day, if this was a football game, okay, Amber Heard would have been embarrassed. It would have been 44-3 in a football game. So when you tell me it was a stunning verdict, I think, again, just the same way that I mentioned before, I think it's only because of the programming in everyone's mind where the woman lost. Oh, that's such a big deal. The woman lost? Did you hear her on those audios? Did you hear her the way she was talking to him? She didn't sound like she was afraid for her life. So I think, like it says, opinion. I think this is just her opinion that it was a stunning verdict. But I think for you and I think we can say, no, this was a very good verdict. It was just normal. We heard the abuser. We heard who the abuser was. And that was it. It was a stunning verdict, and one that seems to spell the end of the #MeToo movement's edict that we #believe all women. But it should come as no surprise that these once ubiquitous and socially enforced liberal feminist edicts are now beginning to succumb to the scrutiny and skepticism that they have so far managed to avoid. The Depp v. Heard case breathed new life into the once dismissed criticisms about the limits of #MeToo and the disregard the movement has shown for the importance of due process. There's really nothing to say there. Hey, this is pretty good so far. So let's just make sure to keep an open mind. She's doing well. This writer is doing well, very well. One of the most shocking revelations of the trial was the fact that the ACLU played a major role in getting the defamatory op-ed published, even writing the first draft. An organization supposedly devoted to due process and civil liberties had taken an egregious role in depriving those same rights to Depp, because he's a man. Needless to say, #MeToo, like any other political or social movement, proved not immune to cynical weaponization. Though the sentiments and aspirations of the movement are in fact noble, the incentive structure surrounding victimhood, grievance, and even feminism writ large in the realm of media and political organizations is rife with avenues for opportunism, careerist maneuvering, and attention-seeking. Okay, it's getting better. That's good. Damn. From the top rope, right there. I've never heard anyone talk like this. What is this woman's name? Angie Speaks? Nice job so far, Angie. That's my mom's name. That's kind of weird. Here's the thing. Let's go back and read that ending. The grievance and even feminism writ large in the realm of media and political organizations is rife with avenues for opportunism, careerist maneuvering, and attention seeking. And where have we seen that? Now, do I want to bring in Harvey Weinstein because he was in fact a piece of shit? He did do all that nasty shit that they talked about with him. But I do think that there are some men out there that were brought down by Me Too that didn't deserve it. Johnny Depp being obviously one of them, probably the biggest one. But as far as careerist maneuvering, I mean, feminists, we all know how that goes in Hollywood now. It's basically every single, I don't know, isn't every single woman in Hollywood basically a feminist, a hardcore feminist? And I'm not talking about a lesbian like Amber Heard, but, you know, just basically around there. Like, if you're not a hardcore feminist in lesbians, if you're not a hardcore feminist in Hollywood, then you usually, you know, they're going to know and they're not going to like you because that's what it is over there. It's one big ass cult. And attention seeking. Well, we really don't even have to get into that because everybody knows what that's about. Indeed, the liberal feminist mode has come to rely heavily on media spectacle, celebrity, and careerist incentive structure, which success is built on scalps taken without due process. And that's very easy to see. How many times have we already seen where it's just a woman will say something and then the guy gets fucked, and then she holds it up like she did something and she put his ass down. Even Evan Rachel Wood said it. Oh, Marilyn Manson has been destroyed. Oh, has he? Has he, Evan? Whatever. After all, the hashtag #MeToo movement has been liberal feminism's greatest hit of late. What does it say of feminism more broadly that its most high-profile success devolved into celebrity smut and the cynical weaponization of grievance? Of course, liberal feminism's influence in media is not the only culprit in this pernicious trend. Race-related activism. Do we really have to talk about race right now? I don't like doing that on this show. But fine, let's just keep going because it's in the article. Race-related activism and the climate that grew out of Black Lives Matter has also been rife with similar incidents of cynicism and media scandal. The infamous Jussie Smollett case was yet another example of a celebrity making dubious claims about identity-based violence that ended up being proven false by a court of law. When the Smollett hate crime accusation initially emerged, there was, look, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about Smollett. I don't want to talk about MAGA and all that bullshit. So we're just going to keep on going. Let's see. Hampton, comparison, BLM, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get into that shit on the show. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about any of that. Colors continue to be smirched. Colors. Okay, here we go. The response of the liberal media in the aftermath of the Heard Depp case has included similar levels of cynicism. Desperate attempts have been mounting to deflect and deny the consequences of a mode of operation that has gone unchecked in the name of protecting higher cultural causes and aspirations. Just yesterday, the Root columnist Candace McDuffie wrote an absurd op-ed titled "Amber Heard Verdict Sends a Message to Black Women Everywhere?" Okay. Well, see, that's the thing. It's about race, so I really don't want to go. I mean, it sounds interesting, right? Like, I'd like to see what that says, but it's about race. Ugh. Like race, politics. Ugh. Like, go hear about that somewhere else. They talk about that everywhere, even on ESPN. God, I can't even see sports highlights now without them talking about race. The piece attempted to argue that the skepticism and mockery that Heard's claims have been met with are not motivated by evidence, but instead an undercurrent of seething misogyny. Now that we can finally comment on, I think it's very easy to see they basically say everything is misogyny. Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. If you criticize that something that these Hollywood women are doing, misogyny. If you say, oh, well, she doesn't really look good in that dress, misogyny. I think what's happening now is we're coming to the end, the end of that, where people are tired of hearing that. It's oh, misogyny, misogynistic. Ugh. But then not only do those words get old and tired, then you have the actions of people like Amber Heard, where you literally have someone that's supposed to be at the forefront of domestic violence, an ambassador of domestic violence. And then we hear the way that she talks to Johnny Depp. We saw the photos that she did. We saw the finger. God. And you expect people to believe that stuff. And that's why we've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Me Too is over after Johnny Depp. And with Marilyn Manson, like we said yesterday, the trial isn't until June 23rd, or June 23, excuse me. So we do have some time with the Marilyn Manson stuff, but I think that if Marilyn Manson goes the way Johnny Depp did, Me Too is. These desperate efforts to conceal the chinks in the moral armor of liberal feminism continue to slip to new lows. The zealous and emotionally driven liberal media class are now being forced to confront the contradictions. We're going to stop you right there, lady. I'm sorry, you were going really great. This is already the end of the article. Miss Angie, you were going really, really great until that one. No. Because I don't know if this person, she's probably one of those people that works a lot. Maybe she doesn't read mainstream news, but I haven't really seen any mainstream news that's in favor of Johnny Depp. So let's read that again. The zealous and emotionally driven liberal media class are now being forced to confront the contradictions? No. No. Because they're still all gladly supporting Amber Heard. So, no. So that one, she was going on like an A+, and actually an A, like not an A+, but an A. The article was an A. That one will bring it down to an A-. Okay, so Angie, you did well. You're doing really well. That one sentence just knocked it down like 3 points. So, the zealous and emotionally driven liberal media class are now being forced to confront the contradictions that emerge when grievance is portrayed as beyond reproach and scrutiny is equated with hostility. We must continue to resist the incentive to adjudicate justice based on social edicts and influences instead of due process and evidence. Angie Speaks is the co-host of the Low Society podcast. The views in this article are the writer's own. Really, Newsweek? Really? Y'all had to go there? That was pretty fucked up, Newsweek. They basically just left her out on a fucking island. Oh, well, Newsweek is like, oh, well, we approve of the article, but no, those are her views. Those are her views. They're not ours. See, and if it was real, like everything that she was saying, she was spot on. I give her, this is an A. Easy A. I did say A-, but I think the ending right there kind of brought it up to an A. So we'll give Angie an A on this one. Great article, great writer. I'm going to say it again to plug her again. Angie Speaks is the co-host of the Low Society podcast. So go and check that out. Find it on YouTube probably. But as far as the article goes, hey man, from that, I'm going to tell you, from that headline, we didn't, it wasn't very optimistic. We weren't very, up about it. But Johnny Depp's victory is a crack in the moral armor of liberal feminism. Hey, Angie Speaks, great job. You really did an amazing job with this article. Okay, now let's get this one from the Daily Mail. I don't know what right mind means, but whatever. Sarah Vine. It's Amber Heard herself who has proved a setback for women. Boom! From the top rope. When the news was announced that Johnny Depp had won his defamation case against Amber Heard, I was out with a girlfriend. We both instinctively let out a little whoop. Another friend texted me, "Am so pleased for Johnny. Even my mother couldn't resist. Johnny has achieved herd immunity." Well, that's a pretty good play on words. I like that. She messaged, "Fascinating, first of all, because none of us have ever met Johnny, nor are we ever likely to. So why would we care about a middle-aged actor and his squabbles with his ex-wife? Secondly, because we are all women, and so theoretically at least, we ought to be on Heard's side." Oof. Now, ladies, tell me in the comments, when was the moment that you got away from her? Okay, was it when she got on the stand in the trial? Was it because of the audios? What was it? Tell me in the comments, ladies, what happened to you? And then you all of a sudden said, yeah, no, I'm not on her side. And yet I don't know a single woman who is. All my female friends, without exception, even the younger, woker ones, took against Heard during the course of this trial. Even if they didn't all exactly sympathize with Depp, they were uniting in acknowledging there was much more to the case than man bad, woman victim. Depp is no saint, there's no doubt about that, but it's one thing to be a troubled individual with multiple substance and behavioral issues, and quite another to be an abuser. See, and that's what was so annoying during the trial, when all that Amber Heard's legal team would talk about was drugs and drinking and weed. Well, trying to talk about him doing weed and then 10 pills of ecstasy. I can still remember when that woman sat on the stand and she said he did 10 pills of MDMA. And he just went, bro, he would have been dead. What the fuck are you talking about? You can be a fundamentally decent human and still make a complete and utter Horlicks of your life, as Depp has proved. But you can also have the face of an angel and be very far from perfect underneath. That is what this trial reminds us. That is why it has caught the attention of millions. It exposed not only Heard's somewhat tenuous relationship with the facts, somewhat, okay. See, I know what they're trying to say, but they can't really say it because this is like a public newspaper type of thing. We know what you're trying to say. She fucking lied. That's what you're trying to say. She fucking lied over and over and over again. She fucking lied over and over and over. Oh, but also the other side of the story, a side that in the age of #MeToo is not often acknowledged, a universal truth experienced by many, that sometimes a relationship can be so toxic it turns both of you into monsters. You were going well. Who wrote this? Did I get the name of this? Sarah Vine. Okay, Sarah Vine. You were going well, Sarah. That was good. I dug it, totally dug it, until kind of right there. I still haven't heard anything where Johnny was toxic. If you're going to talk about the Flappy Fish Market text, if you're going to talk about him slamming cabinets, I mean, what would you have done after your mother died? I know me. I could tell you what I would do if I found out my mother died. I've already thought about that in my head. I'm going to lose my mind when that day happens. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. My mother is very, very important to me. So for me, even thinking about that day when I get the phone call, oh, Andrew, your mother passed away. Like I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to react. So to think that to call him toxic for the slamming cabinets, I don't know. What else could be toxic? Flappy Fish Market. Do you think that was toxic? Flappy Fish Market? I mean, maybe the whole witch thing that he wants to bang her corpse to make sure she's dead. Maybe, I guess. I mean, there was that report of that he kicked her in the butt. I guess. Dude, I don't know. I seriously don't know. Tell me in the comments, because I'm having problems here. I'm having a problem understanding when these people keep on saying that they were toxic to each other, mutual abuse, that kind of shit. I mean, the only thing I could genuinely think of if somebody did it to me and they maybe sent mean text messages, okay, but we read all of the text messages that he sent. There wasn't really anything there. So I'm still drawing a blank as to where he was toxic. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think, because that's tough. Do you really think he was ever toxic? Maybe the Flappy Fish Market, or maybe that he allegedly kicked her on the plane? I don't know. I'm not down with that. But also a far more uncomfortable truth. Deep breath. Women don't have a monopoly on victimhood. Ouch. Top rope. When Heard wrote that now infamous piece for the Washington Post about how she had been a victim of domestic abuse, the #MeToo movement was at its height. The admittingly shocking experiences and admittingly revolting behavior of a small but significant group of people had lit a fuse that snaked all around the globe, reconfiguring attitudes to male-female relationships and characterizing men as predators and women as victims. Yeah, and now we're here. It's 2022. And all I'm going to say, man, is go on TikTok. Go on TikTok. Men bad, women good. And TikTok is one of the worst. They've literally outlawed misogyny on TikTok, which means you can't even criticize women whatsoever. You can't say anything negative. But you should see some of the stuff on TikTok when some of these women talk shit about men. It is insane. And that's misandry. Straight up misandry. At the time, many women, myself included, felt this was a dangerous generalization. Relationships are complex. People are complex. Not everything is black and white, we argued. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, right. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, we said. Nope. We were accused of victim blaming and shaming. There was only one acceptable narrative. A woman can do no wrong. All men are animals. End of story. That was the climate in which Heard wrote her piece, and so perhaps it's understandable that she felt empowered to make such damaging assertions. Wow. Good job right there. That's what we've been saying from the beginning. Basically, in other words, what this person is saying is that Amber Heard knew that the entire society was going to be behind her, and that's one of the main reasons that she got fucked in the trial. Because when you go to trial, you got to prove your bullshit. And when it comes to hashtag MeToo, you never had to prove shit. So, good job. So what was her name? Sarah what? Sarah Vine. Good job, Sarah. Nice one on that one. The last thing she would have expected would have been for Depp to challenge her. Having been canceled, lost all of his film roles, and marked down as a wife beater, presumably she thought he would just curl up in a corner and die quietly. Damn. This is really good. Sarah Vine, great job. Allowing her to bask in the sympathy and solidarity of the sisterhood. I wonder how that sisterhood's doing now. Well, I was going to say something. Isn't there a movie, right? Traveling Pants or something like that? And for a while that was the case, but then he fought back and the rest is history. Of course, it helps that he is a wealthy star. Many in his position are not, so don't have options. But the fact is that Depp now stands for every man who has ever been wrongly accused of abusing a woman, while Amber is not only the girl who cried wolf, she's someone who weaponized the Me Too movement for her own gain. That goes to the heart of why so few women feel empathy for her. Real domestic abuse victims struggle, sometimes for years, to have their voices heard. They suffer at the hands of their aggressors, often trapped in toxic situations through lack of money, opportunities, or the constraints of their culture. For her to jump on the Me Too bandwagon under false pretenses feels like the ultimate betrayal, as did the fact that she lied about donating the proceeds of her divorce settlement to charity. And I think that was one of the most eye-opening things. When, not only that she said pledged, donated, and I use those words synonymously. No, you stupid. What are you talking about? But I think that that's one of the most, when that happened, it opened my eyes and I was like, excuse me? You pledged $7 million and you got it all. She got it all. She got all that money. So she spent it on wine and partying, drugs probably, and some stupid house out there in the desert. But then she didn't say anything. But then it was just like, oh, well, it's okay. Her stance, it doesn't matter, pledged and donate. She still intends to pay the whole thing. And then when you fight with, and that's one of the things I want to real quick, when you fight with Amber Heard stance online, it is one of the most annoying things because every single time it's a facepalm and you read what these people write on Twitter or on Instagram or on Facebook, and you just have to put your face into your palm as far as it will go because it's absolutely ridiculous. The excuses that they come up with for this woman, absolutely ridiculous. She gives all women a bad name and in many ways undoes years of work building up credibility for victims of domestic violence. She claimed in her statement that the verdict was a setback for women, but that's not true. She is the one who has set back the cause for women. That, I'm afraid, is the hard truth she must now accept. Oh, please. Sorry, Sarah. Sarah Vine, definitely A+ with this article. But that last one, bro, no. That last part, bro, no way. Never going to happen. That, I'm afraid, is the hard truth she must now accept. No way. Never. That woman is never going to accept a fucking thing. Ever. That she even did anything wrong. That she even hurt anybody. And more than likely, the pledged and donated. She probably does still think in her mind, oh yeah, well, I'm going to get some money one day and I'll pay off that $7 million. That's probably exactly how she thinks, dude. Okay. This is getting spicy. From Variety. Olivia Wilde denies that Shia LaBeouf quit Don't Worry Darling. asserting in a new interview, "All I'll say is he was replaced and there was no going forward with him." From Film Updates, Olivia Wilde fired LaBeouf during pre-production after Pew raised concerns about his behavior. "My responsibility was towards her. I'm like a mother wolf." Really? Really? He comes at his work with an intensity that can be combative. "It wasn't the ethos that I demand in my productions." Okay, so first of all, let's read this. Shia LaBeouf denies he was fired from Olivia Wilde's "Don't Worry, Darling. I quit your film." Here is LaBeouf's email to Wilde sent on Wednesday. "Olivia, I hope this finds you inspired, purposeful, fulfilled, and well." What? Okay, I'm not trying to shit on the guy, but I bet you anything that's totally real. They probably absolutely talk like that to each other over there. That sounds completely pretentious. That sounds so douchebaggery. That's all that "Oh, I hope this finds you inspired, purposeful, fulfilled, and well." Oh, like, could you people be any more douchebags? Like, could you possibly? Could you really? Like, I get it. That's the culture that they live in. They have to do that over there. They have to talk that way because they're all like that. But God, I guess it's so different, right? Seeing it on writing, right? Like, you're like, and because that's how they say it to each other. They're like they're at their little parties with all these rich people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, how you feeling today?" "Well, I'm inspired. Oh, I just was so inspired." And that film that we saw, we had a personal test screening, and it was a Roman Polanski film. Even though we know who Roman Polanski is. And that film, oh, it was just so inspiring to me. And I think, oh my, I just feel completely purposeful, fulfilled, and well. Really? "I pray every night that you and your family have health, happiness, and everything God would give me." No joke, every night before I sleep. So, fine. You do. You pray for her. Fine. Yeah, we believe that. "I have a little girl, Isabel. She is 5 months old and just beginning to develop the last half of her laugh. It's amazing, Mia. My wife and I have found each other again and are journeying toward a healthy family with love and mutual respect. I have embarked on a journey that feels redemptive and righteous, dirty word, but fitting. I write to you now with 627 days of sobriety and a moral compass that never existed before my great humbling that was the last year and a quarter of my life. I reached out to you a few months ago to make amends, and I still pray one day you can find space in your heart to forgive me for the failed collaboration we shared. What inspired this email today is your latest variety story. I am greatly honored by your words on my work. Thank you. That felt good to read. I am a little confused about the narrative that I was fired, however. You and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find time to rehearse. I have included as a reminder the screenshots of our text exchange on that day and my text to Toby. I know that you are beginning your press run for DWD and that the news of my firing is attractive clickbait, as I am still persona non grata and may remain as such for the rest of my life. But speaking of my daughter, I often think about the news articles she will read when she is literate, and though I owe and will owe for the rest of my life, I only owe for my actions. My failings with Twigs are fundamental and real, but they are not the narrative that has been presented. There is a time and place to deal with such things, and I am trying to navigate a nuanced situation with respect for her and the truth, hence my silence. But this situation with your film and my firing will never have a court date with which to deal with the facts. If lies are repeated enough in the public, they become truth. Now that's the most truth he said the whole damn time. That is absolutely true. The lies travel twice as fast or 10 times as fast as the truth. And so it makes it that much harder for me to crawl out of the hole I have dug with my behaviors to be able to provide for my family. Firing me never took place, Olivia. And while I fully understand the attractiveness of pushing that story because of the current social landscape, the social currency that brings, it's not the truth. So I am humbly asking, as a person with an eye toward making things right, that you correct the narrative as best you can. I hope none of this negatively affects you and that your film is successful in all the ways you want to be. Every blessing to you, Shia. Now, this guy's a better man than me. Well, hold on. I was going to say this guy's a better man than me. I would have told her fucking ass off. But at the same time, this is business. So I really can't say that, because when it comes to business, you got to be straight up. You got to be nice. You got to kiss ass. Because it's business. You know, if he was to tell her off, she'll release the email that he was telling her off, right? And then all of his future endeavors are fucked. But then again, he did say that his future endeavors are fucked anyway for his own behavior, right? And so it makes it that much harder for me to crawl out of the hole I have dug with my behaviors. So, you know, so should he have told her off? Maybe. Maybe he should have. But at the same time, you got to be professional. You got to be courteous. You know, every blessing to you, Shia. See, that wasn't as pretentious at the beginning as the beginning. See, like the very beginning, I'm sorry, man, and I know I have to bring it up again. I hope this finds you inspired, purposeful, fulfilled, and well. Do people really talk like that in Hollywood? Do they really talk like that? That's kind of weird, man. It's very, very weird. So, Olivia, now we're going to bring it out.
Shia. I just went riding my horse, very sweaty, but I wanted to reach out because I feel like I'm not ready to give up on this yet, and I too am heartbroken, and I want to figure this out. And you know, I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo, and I want to know if you're open to giving this a shot with me, with us. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into it at this point, and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do...
Well, so what was the headline again, Olivia? What was the head? Let's go back to find that headline. What was that headline again? Olivia Wilde denies that Shia LaBeouf quit. All I'll say is he was replaced, and there's no going forward with him. Well, that video doesn't sound like it was. What was the other headline? Olivia Wilde fired LaBeouf during pre-production after Pew raised concerns about his behavior. Well, that video doesn't match these headlines, Olivia. Okay, now we got a lightning round. Top Gun Maverick has become the 5th highest grossing film of all time domestically, passing Black Panther. Now, with this, very simple to say, I think Hollywood is going to very, very soon, you're going to see the content coming out of Hollywood. It's going to be very much closer to what it used to be in the 80s, what it used to be in the 90s. They're quickly finding out that things like Top Gun, okay, and all the people on Twitter were so stupid, and there's a lot of people that they've been commenting, well, I'm glad I don't have a Twitter. Yes, and don't get one, because you want me to tell you something, as someone that's on Twitter, it's kind of like when you're a drug addict, and then someone says, oh yeah, like that sounds kind of fun, maybe I'll do drugs. No, you better never do drugs. Don't ever ruin your life like that. And that's what I'm going to tell those people. Don't ever get on Twitter. Never. Okay, because Twitter is very simple. Either you're on Twitter and you're misinformed, or you're off of Twitter and you're uninformed. So there's absolutely no point. If you think, oh, well, I wonder what Twitter is. No, Twitter is a shithole, a cesspool. And if it wasn't for me needing all this information for the show for you, I wouldn't even be on Twitter. God, sometimes you read the replies, and it's all, and I'm talking about a lot from Amber Heard stands, but also from Evan Rachel Wood people, and also just normal people, just people that are talking about politics, people that are talking about race and stuff like that. You read some of these tweets and some of these replies, and you're just like, oh, like it gets into your being, and it makes you feel dirty, and it makes you feel stupid. You're like, what is wrong with some of these people? And you just say to yourself, it can't be real. It can't. It has to be fucking bots. And here we go with the don't worry, darling. You can see it right there. And that's because Rotten Tomatoes, they're like all the way down for this kind of stuff. For, I believe the movie is very woke. Like it's about the patriarchy. It's about like conquering the patriarchy or some kind of bullshit. And I think we have a few reviews here. Don't worry, darling. And this, look at that, from Robert, he, him. Okay, so this person is obviously on that spectrum where they're like, they care about those political stuff. So you can expect that if it was any good at 2.5 stars, okay, well, there's obviously something wrong with it. A half-baked suburbia drag that feels longer than it actually is. Hardly anything new is given to provide a fresh take on the subgenre, with barely any tension building up due to a weak enemy. Little chemistry between Florence Pugh and Harry Styles. The few interesting concepts out there are just left on the floor, with the concluding plot holes scattered, ending trying to wrap it up some way as a result. And that's someone that's a he, him. So they're down for that spectrum on that side of the aisle. So let's just, for once, I would like, that's why I like getting these kind, because for once I'd like these people to look at their own mirror. If your own people don't like the entertainment, it's what it's supposed to be, then it might just suck. It might not have anything to do with sexism or misogyny. No, your content might just suck. This one, soft-boiled egg, 3 stars. I'm guessing Olivia Wilde thought this film had some feminist subtext, but all I heard was being a housewife isn't so great after all, and incels on Reddit are batshit crazy. Thanks, it's been known. Liberal feminism at best. Also, there was one person of color in this, and all she did was act as a catalyst to empower the white protagonist. Damn, that's literally all they let her character do, and all the screen time she gets. At Olivia Wilde, huh? Hey, well, there it is right there. So much for the virtue signaling, Olivia, because you just got called out right there. This one is from Nicolo Grasso. Notes from the Venice Film Festival. Olivia Wilde's twisty-turny take on life in suburbia and the oppression of the patriarchy is the oppression of the patriarchy. She really made a movie about that. Really? And I'm gonna have to go see this. I have to go see it, and maybe I'll do a review on it if you want. But this seems like something we have to see. It has to be. You know? I mean. And could you imagine if Amber Heard made a movie? What it would be about, shitting on beds. Okay, let's get back. The Patriarchy is an overly predictable, soulless thriller. Really? Thriller? Okay, I was going to say it's probably about some kind of abuse, right? It's probably about some man that's all mean to a woman, and they're like, oh, the patriarchy. Yeah. A soulless thriller with nothing new to say. Pugh rules, Pine steals the show, and Styles is utterly forgettable, painfully dull. Okay, so we're going to end. The lightning round is still going, but I wanted you to see this video right here. Let me find it. Okay. Here we go. Watch. So this is the big deal that everybody has been saying, that Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine. Now, I did look for some different angles for this, but I believe that this is the best one. And I added in some, like, that we could. I stopped it, and then I slowed it down, and then I slowed it down again, and I slowed it down again. So we should be able to see it 4 times, okay? And you'll be able to see. Tell me if you think that Harry Styles spits on Chris Pine. Right there. You saw it? See? Like he kind of went. See? Okay, let's watch it again. Let's see it again. Okay, so he walks up. You see him right there. He's walking. Okay, and he goes. See? Like the mouth, the gesture of his mouth. See? Right there. And then Chris Pine stops clapping. See? So I don't know. I don't know. Was it? What do you think? Do you think that he spit on him? I think he did, but that's the thing. It's not spit. Like everybody's saying the word spit, and they're like, they think like a loogie. Like no, it was just like a spit. Like I can spit right now, and there's nothing on my hand. You see, there's nothing there. You know, but that's still technically spitting. Like I've done it before on the show, like where I want to slap someone because they said something stupid. See, and there's nothing there. See. So I think that he did an air spit, you see. So the reason that everybody's like, oh, he didn't spit on him is because when they hear the word spit, they think, oh, well, he hocked a loogie and he spit on him. Well, no, that's not what it looked like at all. That's going to be it for today. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We will catch you next time.